Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Crow, what has happened to it recently, and where we think the price is going to go to in the near future, with some key price levels and some trades we're looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 88% of people that watch my videos that have not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So without further ado, let's talk about Crow and what has happened. And the annotations are back on the screen. And basically, when we made our last video here on Crow, we said that there could be some sort of triangle formation happening on Crow. Of course, over the past 2 weeks, it's been pretty quiet. The price has just been ranging in a very small range, and even more so over the course of the past week here. You can see price barely moved, and opening today on Monday, we saw the price finally make its mind up as to where it wanted to go, and it looks like it's broken to the downside of this triangle. And if we just go on the 1 hour chart here, we can see that Crow eventually broke out of this triangle in the early hours of today. Basically, we saw a breakdown from the support line that was holding the price of Crow up here for the past 2 weeks. And basically, so far, we've seen this downwards move of around 8% here on Crow. But we have seen a nice little pump take us back to around 6.2 cents. But of course, as we know from this triangle here, we do have a price target here on Crow now, that if this triangle is going to be respected, and it is quite a well-respected triangle because it's formed over 2 weeks, it's had a lot of tests of support and resistance. The ultimate price target should be the first test of support and resistance. So we just grab our measuring tool here and we drag it to where the breakout is, and that should give us a price target on Crow of around 4.4 cents. And if that does happen, that is a 30% drop. And I don't expect it to happen straight away. What I do expect to happen is something like this. So, you know, the prices will come down to that level like this, for example, and eventually reach there over the course of days and weeks, down to around 4.4 cents. And I do think this here on Crow is going... And I do think Crow getting to 4.4 cents here will tie in with what Bitcoin is about to do. And of course, we look at Bitcoin on this channel because whatever Bitcoin does, it tends to influence what altcoins do. And that includes Crow as well. So if we see a bullish move on Bitcoin, chances are we're going to see a bullish move on Crow as well. But if we see a bearish move on Bitcoin, there's going to be a bearish bias on the price here on Crow as well. So just looking at Bitcoin and where we are right now, we are obviously consolidating in this kind of area at the moment. Things look like they're going in, we could say it's going in some sort of sideways triangle. Of course, we have some price data that leaked below the triangle here, but generally speaking, we're in this consolidation pattern here on Bitcoin. We're quite close to our support line. And what this kind of reminds me of, this pattern here on Bitcoin, if I just zoom out for you, is what we saw here on May on Bitcoin. And in May on Bitcoin, we saw very similar consolidation where the prices were just not doing all too much in the 30,000 region there. It was just ranging a couple of percentage points either side of that $30,000 mark. And eventually, 3 weeks after consolidation, we saw massive dump there on Bitcoin. And now what we're seeing in this region here is something quite similar. We've seen the FTX crash. We're seeing a consolidation pattern, and it looks like Bitcoin could do its next leg down. And of course, if that does happen, then I do expect the breakout of that triangle to be the price target of that drop. So around 14,400 on Bitcoin. Now, this is just if it is a triangle pattern. Of course, this can be construed in different ways as well. I've seen this construed as some sort of bear flag as well. So just encompassing this part, the price data there, this is looking more like a bear flag than a triangle at the moment. So of course, if that is the case, then the price target becomes a lot bigger, and it is the length of the first flagpole going into that bear flag there. So if we do see a bear flag like this, prices first have to drop to 15,300 and then continue down. And of course, that would put the price target of Bitcoin at 12,900 here. So this is something also to look out for. And it really depends how you construe this data. But we do know that we are consolidating here on Bitcoin. And if history repeats itself, then Bitcoin is going to make that leg down to 12,900. And of course, if Bitcoin does that, then we're going to see that. And of course, to see Bitcoin make that move, I do think that will be the local bottom there for Bitcoin. I do think we're just going to range in that area and start to come up once again. And of course, I do expect that to tie in with what Crow does as well. So if Bitcoin does break down to the 14,000s, 13,000s or 12,000s, wherever it's going to head to, this will tie in with what Crow does down to 4.4 cents from this triangle here. And of course, I do think we're just going to range in this 4.4 cents range for a while, but it's going to set Crow up for a nice bullish move in the future, in my opinion, because this triangle that we have here if we just extend that and we draw a line from this bottom down here to a bottom at 4.4 cents or so, then we can see that we've got two parallel trend lines looking like this. So if we do finally reach a bottom of 4.4 cents on Crow over the next few weeks, for example, then we have a channel that looks like this, and this could be a setup for some sort of double bottom. And I've talked about this in my previous videos on Crow, so if you want to stay up to date with it, be sure to hit the subscribe if you haven't done so already. But basically, in my previous videos, I do expect something like this could potentially happen here on Crow. So particularly if we reach the price target from that triangle we talked about at 4.4. So over the long term, so over the next few weeks or even the next few months, the price will give Crow will get down to 4.4 cents, and at some point there's going to be some sort of recovery, and when we cross past this trend line, that is going to be a majorly bullish event, and I do expect a large price target to come from that. And the price target of such a pattern will be the distance between the bottom down here, the support, and this resistance here, this neckline in purple, and we should see a price target in the upwards direction of about 30%. So that will take Crow back to 7 cents. Now if we look at Crow's history, I expect this because, again, if history plays out in a similar manner, then we could see the same as this over here. So this here is exactly as I explained to you. So this here is exactly the same as my prediction, a double bottom pattern where prices go in a bearish trajectory into the bottom down here. We see 2 times this bottom was touched. We see this neckline here in green, and then prices pumped to the upside after completing that pattern. So if history repeats itself like over there, for example, then this will tie in with that 4.4 cents bottom. Prices will chill there for a little bit and then come up and eventually cross this resistance line. So that is what I'm looking for. And of course, it's all dependent on whether this triangle completes as well. So 4.4 cents is the price target from this triangle. And although it is bearish for the coming weeks, it could set us up for a bullish move in Crow for the coming future. So 4.4 cents looks like it's going to be hit despite this little pump in the upwards direction. I will be invalidated, however, if prices do go above this purple line early. So if we go above the purple line right now at 6.4 cents on Crow and we just continue to go upwards, then this whole theory of my double bottom pattern will not play out. It's only if we continue in the downwards direction. So really, I'm looking for 4.4 cents here on Crow unless we cross this purple resistance, which was the resistance of this triangle consolidation formation that we had here on Crow over the past few weeks. And so on top of that as well, just on the shorter time frames, I'm always looking for those chart patterns, you know, the short-term type patterns that could tell us where the price is going. And if I do spot those, I will put them on my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there if you want to keep up to date with all the chart patterns that I find before I'm able to make videos, and then the link is in the description below for that. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say here on Crow. In a summary, I do expect 4.4 cents to be hit. I'm watching what Bitcoin does because I'm anticipating Bitcoin to make a move lower at some point. I don't think 16,000 is the bottom here, so I do expect it to go lower, whether it's 14,000, 13,000 or 12,000. And when that happens, I do think that's going to coincide with Crow hitting 4.4 cents, and everything that I've seen on Crow tells me that that is going to happen. But in the longer term, when we do hit 4.4 cents, I'm looking out for that double bottom pattern, similar to how we saw it before, because then that could be an awesome trade in the upwards direction if it does complete. And it only completes when we cross this purple line after hitting 4.4 cents. If we cross this purple line before hitting 4.4 cents, then this whole double bottom pattern is invalidated, as this triangle price target is no longer valid. So that is all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and otherwise I'll see you on my next video.